Welcome back, Slotcar family, on another video on Slotcar Do. Today it's going to be something completely different. I will do a documentation on the Hillclimb race in Berchtesgaden, which is Germany, which is only like 30 kilometers away from where I live. So I'm going to take you with me, as you can see, to the track. Yes, a little speed up. No, this is not the original speed, just trying to bring you there with me. It is, of course, a little in the mountains, and I was one of the first ones, as you can see, in the pit area, and there were hardly any people, so enjoy with me the first minutes. Yes, the sound you heard was the Auto Union, built in 1938. It's a replica by Audi itself with a V16 machine. You have here a DTM Audi. You have a rally Audi Quattro driven by Stig Blomqvist, actually on the track itself as well. He was there, yes. The next car for you 1 to 24 lovers is an NSU-TT like BRM got out in 1 to 24. With the Jägermeister livery, and a lot more Audis, as you can see, a Scirocco Group 2, the Golfs, the VW, and the beloved BMW M1. From the Pro Car series. With a typical 60s livery, if you ask me, a little psychedelic. Don't know what they smoked, but this is actually a replica of an original livery. And I think the car just looks stunning and beautiful. It's the car that you could see on Pete's Live. And here we have a Ferrari 512M, also brought out by BRM in 1 to 24, if you can remember. With a typical 12-cylinder 5-liter machine from Ferrari. Next to it, one of my personal favorites, a Datsun Fairlady. Another 6-cylinder, nearly 3 liters, 320 horsepower. Unfortunately, the guy blew his engines like 200 meters away from me up the hill. What a shame. And now to another 6-cylinder, a BMW this time, 3-liter, yes, out of 1972. As you could see, and here another 6-cylinder with this BMW. Next to it, a Ford Capri out of the 60s as well. And believe it or not, this is another 6-cylinder engine, this time from Ford. And on we go to an Opel. It's got the name Black Widow. To be honest, I've got no idea why. 4-cylinder. Nice sound as well, if you ask me, and great paint job. I mean, I just love that livery. It looks stunning. Right next to it, it's Audi. Yes, this is a Audi 50 4-cylinder and another 6-cylinder. To be honest, those 6-cylinder BMWs do have a brilliant sound. And we have a Porsche 914 and a lot of older 911 Porsches out of the 60s as well, as you can see here. Porsche 356. Yeah, like the civil version and the race version. And more cars, some of them still wrapped because I was too early. This should be or there should be a chevron underneath that, and a Mercedes 300. That's worth a lot. I guess like this C2 Corvette. And yes, also those Novars are beauties. Kellison, I haven't heard of that to be honest, but it looked really great. Nice car, it looked like a concept car. And of course, everybody knows the Daytona Cobra. I mean, come on, who doesn't know this car? Shelby Daytona Cobra, 8 cylinders, 7-liter engine out of 65. This is a beast to handle, I guess. Next to it, this is a Mustang GT350. Why do I explain those cars to you in detail? It is to me important that the cars that we actually love on our slot tracks are still out there. They're available. You can go there. You can touch them. You can talk to the drivers, what it feels like, what the suspension is like. If you drive over a coin, you feel in your butt whether it was heads or tails. That's what the suspension looks like in those cars from those days. And of course, there were also a few newer cars and still the older cars like the Escort. Yeah, we've seen that Ford Capri as well. A Lancia Stratos, the rally version. This, I mean, the cars that were there, it was just amazing to have so many beautiful cars in one place. That's a Lamborghini Miura. That's a Ferrari 330. Next to it, a Ferrari 275 GTB. Where do you find those cars nowadays driving on the road? Or the loved BMW's 2002 Ti, like available from Avant Slot. The smallest, or most of the time the loudest. There were also some modern cars like those modern Ford GTs or the Corvette C8, as you can see. And there were a few vendor places for vintage stuff, of course, as well. And let's move on through the pit lane, which is a huge, massive pit lane. I mean, come on, 160 cars from like, I don't know, the 40s or the 30s up to the 80s or today. Unbelievable. Ford Juniors, as you can see, Formula Juniors, Beetles, old Porsches, old decades, so to say. Here comes my favorite. That's an Austrian car, believe it or not. It used to be a Fiat 500, but it was built into a Steyr-Puch 650. This car won the Rally Monte Carlo, by the way, as well. Fiat Abarth, a lot of Alfa Romeos, also from the 60s. And those beautiful, beautiful spoke wheel cars. Yes, just exactly what Slotcar Dude was looking out for. Here we go. I mean, this was just, it was goosebumps all the way. Not even knowing what they sound like yet, but it was to come. And you had the first impressions as well. And of course, a lot of Alfa Romeos from the 60s, as you can see here. One of my favorite cars, all the way. On to the smaller cars, some smaller cars like this Mini Morris, or the Renault R8, or an MG V8. So unbelievable cars, one after the other. And into the next section, which brings us to the 50s and beautiful cars. All just firing up their engines, trying to get the motor warmed up and prepare everything. Again, I was lucky to be one of the first ones in the pit lane, so there was not much going on yet. a few hours later, you wouldn't have been able to move like freely like I did at that stage or at that time of the day. It was really a great experience to see all those cars live, touch them, talk to the drivers, talk to the owners. What's the worst thing about this car? And so on. So it was definitely an experience. Unfortunately, this race seems to be closed after this run and this event on this weekend. It is discontinued as it seems at the moment, unfortunately. But it's not 100% positive yet. But that's what I learned or heard during the event. And to be honest, this would be an absolute shame because having so many great cars at one spot together, see them driving up a hill, and the whole income of this event goes to charity. It's not even sponsored, or they're not even trying to make profit. It is a non-profit event, and the whole money goes to charity. So it would be an absolute shame if they would kill down this event or shut it down. Absolutely. And here we are with the oldest cars of the event going uphill first, of course. This is a Renault Alpine 110. Now, you could only go down the hill when you went up the hill, so you had to take an old-timer bus, which I'm in at the moment. And as you can see, this is where all the cars wait together and then drive down together. I was going the opposite direction in an old-timer bus. And if you look closely on the outside, the white stuff, yes, you're right. This is already snow. It snowed the day before, and they were actually lucky to have a cleared road with no snow on it. And of course, they didn't put any salt on the road, not to destroy all those old chassis. So again, lucky turn. We had to wait in our old-timer bus for all the cars that went up the hill to pass by. I was only filming the first run. The first run was only a test run, so not all cars were actually participating in it. But to me, the most interesting ones were, as you can see here. And again, an absolute stunning event. And people were coming from all over the world just to watch that, just to see it, or even to participate in it. And as you can see here, all the cars that we saw in the pit lane just passing by, or our buses passing by, while they are waiting to drive downhill again for the first timed run. Slotcar family, this was it. This was the first part. I've still got tons of video material I need to look through. Hopefully you enjoyed this first part. I'm not 100% positive whether I'm going to do a second part or not. It's an awful lot of work to flip and go through all those tiny, whiny, weeny videos. But if you like what you've seen, don't forget to press that like button. Press that subscribe button if you want to see more and get the information when I do more videos. Like, share, comment, and as always with Slotcar Dude, don't forget, there's more to come.